Desolate. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words of the developer. Desolate is a first-person horror survival experience. Form a research team with up to 4 players and explore an open world filled with mysteries and unsolved questions. Questions such as, why can't enemies fucking see me when I'm crawling in front of the fuckers? Doesn't say that, Anyway, explore an open world filled with mysteries and unsolved questions, or do it all on your own. Yes, guys, it's another survival game. We don't have enough of these. So luckily this has come along and saved the day. What is this game? Well, straight out off the bat, this game is pretty much Dead Island had sex with Stalker and Desolate was their illegitimate child, essentially. And the problem with that is it isn't better than any of them. And that's the big problem. And now it is in early access, alpha, to be fair. And I've been playing this game single player and I've been playing it in co-op. And we've got quite a way through the game. And I've come to the conclusion that it brings nothing at all new to the table. And this is the problem, you see. If you're going to copy a game like Dead Island, well, it's closer to Dead Island than Stalker, I have to say. So let's use the Dead Island kind of argument here. If you're going to copy a game like Dead Island, then with Dead Island being such an old game now, you've got to bring more to the table than what Dead Island has. You just have. You know, it's like if you go to Ford and Ford bring out a car, and then 4 years later Vauxhall bring out a car to compete with Ford's car, but it's worse than what the Ford car was 4 years ago, they're not going to sell many, are they? And that's the problem. You have to add more stuff. And to add insult to the injury, Dead Island's now cheaper than this game. So it's f***ed from the off, unless it gets better. And it probably will, because like I said, this is early access. So what do you do then? Well, you start off in a prologue, which is where you don't have to play the prologue, I will say that. You can go straight to the main part of the game. But the prologue kind of tells you the story. You know, why you're here on this island, what the hell's gone wrong. Well, it doesn't tell you what's gone wrong, that's the game. You've got to find out what the hell's gone wrong, and why all these monsters are around the place, and why all there's paranormal shit going on as well. Although it's mainly madmen that look quite familiar to a reviewer. Let's not go there. But yeah, I was having nightmares playing this. It's coming for us there. It's not scary, guys. I have to say, it's not scary. There is one kind of scripted jump scare, and I'm not going to spoil much of this game. In fact, I'm not going to spoil any of the game by showing you any of the story. But essentially what you do, you get a bunch of quests, which basically mean run over there and find something and then bring it back. Now, while you're out there, you have to scavenge a lot. There's shit tons of loot in this game. It respawns every 20 minutes, I believe. Now, this is the way the crafting system works, which is probably the best part of the game. The crafting system, you can build some rudimentary things without a crafting bench, but you really need the benches, the different types of bench as well, to craft stuff. Now, you get them in a base. You get a safe base. You don't actually build a base yourself in this game. You're given a base. It's like a safe zone, like in Dead Island. And in there are workbenches, like in Dead Island. And you have to unlock the workbenches, and you can upgrade the workbenches, and you then build things with the workbenches, like in Dead Island. Now, what you have to do to build things with the workbenches is you have to go out and collect all the scrap, like in Dead Island, and all the bits to go with that. So for example, you find a baseball bat, you have that as your donor weapon. You can, if you have the right scrap, the right stuff on you, the right materials, you can modify that baseball bat to make it hit harder and look better as well, like in Dead Island. But the thing is, in order to build these weapons, you need to find the blueprint and then learn the blueprint for that specific weapon, like in Dead Island. So you get the idea. You use the crafting benches to upgrade your gear as you go and scavenge, so that you're doing more damage to the enemies as you are hitting them. You also, as well, can break down certain items into scrap. Now, scrap is the currency of this game. The game currency is scrap. And there are vendors that you can use the scrap to buy stuff. Like if you're short of med kits, short of a bit of food, a bit of drink, you can go to these people and say, look, give us a bottle of lemonade, and it might cost you 125 scrap. So you get the stuff through that. So it's good to just break pretty much everything down into scrap that you don't need to build more advanced things. And there are more advanced things in the game. There are weapons in the game. I found the gunplay a bit shit on certain guns, but some of the guns are pretty good. I like the Stinger. It's like a nail gun thing. I found that quite fun. But here's the big but. I found the monsters a bit shit. The combat's a bit, it's not so much the combat, it's the AI. It's pretty wank. Like I joked on it when I was reading the words, you can actually crawl around and you're pretty much invisible. You know, it's like you can just crawl past somebody without being in any kind of shrubbery, and if you're crouched they can't actually see you, pretty much. It's unless you're really right up next to them, you know, which is shit. But what I did like about the combat is I have this wrench that's been modded. So I've modded a wrench and it's quite powerful. It looks quite formidable as well. And you do get a great sense of impact when you smack that into somebody and you see the blood splat and you hear the noise as it hits. I like the melee whacking, but unfortunately it's so basic because all you have is spam attacks with your left mouse button and block with your right. That's it. There's no directional, there's nothing else other than that, and you switch weapons, and then obviously the gun plays, you just shoot the gun, aim down sights, bam bam bam. Ammunition is very, very scarce as well. In fact, I don't really use the gun that often, to be honest. The melee combat is sufficing for pretty much everything that I've come across. I mean, there's some things that I have used guns on, obviously, but I haven't really found that, I haven't felt that the world is dangerous. You will die, obviously, and when you die, the mechanic basically is you drop everything, you take a 25, I think is it 25% of your credits you lose, and you've got 10 minutes to get back to your inventory, or you'll lose it all. And that's pretty much the game. You work your way through the game, uncovering, like I say at the beginning, the mysteries and the unsolved questions until you get to the end game. You can play this with 4 people, or you can play this in solo. Now, I must say that I do like the way that the co-op is put together. It's very much a co-op game, this. You make your lobby, you decide whether you're going to let anybody in or just your friends. You can password the game, and you can then set it up and they can jump in and out as they please. It's not a really, really bad game. I mean, it's just not. It has quite a lot of potential, but they have to bring a lot more to the table than what's on. I found the AI bad. I didn't find the monsters that good. They weren't really tough. I mean, we were just hammering everything with 2 of us. With 4 of us, it would just be a cakewalk. The missions are quite boring. It's just running all the time from A to B, from A to B, from A to B. You know, collect this, collect that, press this, press that. You know, it's all kind of... It's all too basic. It's all too... What does it bring into the table? Nothing. It brings nothing new to the table. I'd rather go and play Dead Island. That's the problem. So I'm thumbing this down at the minute, but I'll be checking it out again just to see if it's got anywhere when it releases. I'm hoping for a shitload more content. It's got a very good base. It's got a really good foundation, this. If the developers build on the foundation, and they must bring new stuff to the table. It's pointless doing a Stalker Dead Island clone if you're bringing nothing fundamentally new to the table. And it runs like shit as well. I'm running at 1070, big frame drops, barely making 60 frames a second. So it's not even well optimized, this game. So, you know, I'd rather spend my money on old Meg as it is at this moment in time. It's too much like Dead Island, and like I say, it brings nothing new to the table. So there you go.